You know, even though I find it hard to believe, our hunting season is right on top of it. Squirrel season opens in 1 week. That's hard to believe. Another year's come and gone. But anyway, we're the hunting season is here. And it, of course, when squirrel season opens up, what I'll be after them with is my flintlock fowl. I'm really looking forward to that. I got to thinking, I love the muzzle loading and the reenactment of frontier history, particularly when my part of the country was a frontier. Southwest Virginia, the Cumberland Gap area, when this was the frontier. And I started a project last year making some more buckskins. I hadn't made any in several years. So I thought I'd just get started from start to finish. I think I'll go back, put together a little bit of a video of making buckskin and buckskins sort of from start to finish. I made several projects. I brain tanned 16 hides. That was a job. Yeah. Anyway, I finally got them all done and made a few projects out of them. Among those projects is the Eastern Woodland Leggings, my buckskin hunting frock, cheek piece for my fowler, a case, a rifle case, a buckskin case for the flintlock, and something I'll show you in a little while, something that I really like. I made a vest out of pure scrap. The scrap that I had left over from making the cheek piece, the leggings and the frock and the case. I took that pile of scrap and I made something I really like, which is a vest. And that thing took a lot of work because it's put together with scrap, and I mean scrap. I had a heck of a time even putting together enough scraps to make enough thongs to lace it all together, but it turned out pretty good. I kind of like it pretty well. Anyway, here goes down a little bit of, you might call it a stroll down memory lane from bucks to buckskin. Let's get started. Yep, let's get started. I've been watching the fields since before daylight. I have not seen first deer so far. There has not been the first anything stir so far today. At long last. At least I've seen deer. Again, I wonder if I was ever going to see one today. The way those two were hot-footing it across through there. I'm going to keep an eye out because there's a possibility a buck may be pushing them. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Getting toward the tail end of the cylinder period. I can't tell what he is. He's not huge, but he's okay. Well, I just made myself shoot a buck that I'm really... I'm making buckskin. I need quite a few hides. As my wife said, we got plenty of horns. We don't need any more horn. We could use some meat. And the younger bucks and the does are what make the best buckskin. So this year I have made myself take some smaller deer. Because I got to keep in mind what I'm really wanting is the buckskin, not the horns. Time to get the skinning. So, basically, it'd be divided into two parts. Preparation, without the right preparation, the proper preparation, you're never going to get good results. Like in horse training, a famous horse trainer says, prior and proper preparation prevents poor performance. Well, that's true in making buckskin. Preparation. So this is the first part. This will be a two-part series. And this first part is in preparation. If you don't prepare that hide right, you don't stand a chance of having good buckskin. So, the first thing we want to do is, like I said, prepare the hide and turn that hide into rawhide. Okay, we've got to get rid of the fat, the flesh, and the membrane on the flesh side of the hide. We've got to get rid of the hair and the grain on the outside of the hide, and left with only that center section of the hide, period. Now, so if we do a good job of getting rid of all that, then you've left with that center section of hide, which is going to make your buckskin. And in order for that to be made into soft, pliable, usable buckskin, every fiber in that hide has got to be oiled. It's got to be oiled with a water-soluble oil. The water is what's going to carry the oil into and through that hide and coat every fiber of it. So, if we get rid of all the external and the hair side and the flesh side of everything we don't want, left with only what we do want, then we put that on a stretcher and dry it. Completely dry it. Get it bone dry. Turn that into high quality raw hide. Now that hide is perfectly dry. Now, once it's perfectly dry, when you go to put it in your tanning, your brain tanning solution, whether that be brains, eggs, or soap and oil, whatever it is, when you put that in there and you rehydrate it with this water-soluble oil solution, if it's bone dry, and you put it in this fluid and it goes to soft, supple, and obviously wet all the way through, you have carried your oil through that hide and coated every possible fiber. You do that once, wring it out, and do it again for good measure. Wring that out, then stretch it. Stretch it dry it, work it as it dries, and once it's soft, supple, and dry, go to smoke it to preserve it. But the first step, it's got to be the preparation. You got to get into high quality raw hide. So that's what we're going to do right now. And this hide right here is the last one out of 16. This hide here, it's about ready to come off the stretcher. I'll do that here in just a little while. And then in the spring, we'll come back when it's good and warm and start making our buckskin. So this is the first step in the quest for high quality buckskin. First off, let's look at a couple of things that I recommend. It's some sort of an apron. Now I got these off of Amazon. They come a couple to a pack. They're vinyl. They're sort of cheap. Boy, they help keep you from being an absolute disaster, an absolute mess. So first off, I do recommend you have some sort of a apron. I've got cloth aprons and stuff like that that I use for various things, but in this messy process, a lot of moisture and stuff, I recommend if you have some kind of apron. And what I use as a fleshing knife is a Weeby. It's a Weeby Pro. Now, it has a convex and a concave side. The convex side, this side here, the convex side, that's shaven sharp. I mean, it's shaven sharp. It is sharp. The inside, it's sharp, but it's not shaven sharp. I mean, you can run your hand up and down and it won't cut you. You don't want to do that on this side. And I'll show you the purpose in that in a minute. Because I do not buck my hides like most people say. You know, so I don't soak in lye or lime or anything to loosen the hair. I dry scrape it. I've tried it both. I've tried it every way. And as Ron Nail says, if you might think you're saving time and saving yourself a lot of time when you bucket, you get the hair to slip off easy, but you're not. You're not. Yeah, it can be a little bit difficult to dry scrape the hair off, but it's much, much quicker in the long run, much quicker, and in my opinion, gives you a better hide, simply because you can sort of see where you're going better. I'll show you that as I go along. I'm just going to start with the concave side, pinching the hide between my body and the PVC pipe, and just start working flesh and fat off. Now you got to keep you there will get buildup on your knife. So you got to keep that off. Now I don't get any hurt. One thing I've got is patience on this knife. I want to get as much of that membrane off there as I possibly can. Okay, I now have this hide completely fleshed. Like I said, I'm not going to bucket. I'm not going to put it in lime or anything. Try to get the hair. I'm going to dry scrape. Hide, some tough grain up in here. Now, it takes a little bit of practice to get used to sort of shaving that hide. It is razor sharp, and you can certainly cut through your hide. So it takes a little bit of practice to learn to do that. And up here especially, we got that thick neck. I will literally cut right through all of that membrane, and you're literally cutting right down to the hide to get me this place to start with the back side of my knife. Now can you see the white coming right here? Up here on the neck. Boy, that's tough. If you don't shave that hair off, you can't even get down to the membrane, let alone get it off. And sand it off. I'll just keep punching holes till I'm all the way around it. Paracord to the top so I can get something to start hanging it with. This is just a temporary thing. Now I'll move the frame over here into the sun. With what little bit of sun we got, to reach it. They should. I'll keep just fine till I get around to done. Till I get around to turn them into buckskin. Been a heck of a process getting 16 hides ready. Especially with the extra steps I did, but I swear. Keep this up till we get to turn this into buckskin. That's some great looking rawhide. I mean, it's smooth, both sides. It looks good. Looks really good. We'll take this and grate it up. Just protect my little old fingers here. So just gonna grate this up. Now to my grated up homemade line lard soap. I'm going to add a gallon of water. So, get us a gallon of water. I'm going to turn the heat on. I want to get good and warm. Into that gallon of water, I'm going to add a half a cup of neat's foot oil. So start to mix this up a little bit. That's plenty hot. Plenty warm. And I'll take my trusty little mixer. Come down enough now. Pour it into a 5-gallon bucket. bucket. Let it start soaking up that. Kind of tug around on it a little bit. You put that in there, do you? You want to put that in here, do you? The first part of it that went in the solution is nice and soft, stretchy. It's nice and white and soft like that. And get out and scratch. Just roll your little donuts in toward the middle here. Get it rolled in there pretty good. I'm going to take a small stick and start slowly twisting it. You don't want to put too much pressure too fast and cause your donuts to slip. They're really wet. So to begin with, so I use the fleshing beam to start breaking open the hide pretty good before I put it on the stretcher. Or if I'm going to hand soften it, this is part of it. But one thing that's very important when you're doing this, save you a lot of time in the long run. If you find a wet spot, for heaven's sake, take the time to get your fleshing knife and squeegee the water out of there. I'm putting a lot of pressure here. Stretch out and soften these edges a little bit. Where they're starting to. So this one not only stretches it, it also abrades that surface. And you definitely want to braid both sides. can't stretch enough the use of the magic thumb stuff. It smooths out that surface, breaks up that hard surface that won't let the interior of your hide dry soft. So let's go ahead and take it off the frame. So now that one is finished. I mean, super soft. Look at that. I need to turn over. Hooks out a little. Plugs out a little. On a stretcher. This is one that had been smoked, and it was hand softened. And there again, I mean, these are just incredibly soft, flexible, beautiful buckskin. Beautiful buckskin. I don't know how you get any better than that. Okay. The next thing I did is I went and I soaked my lacing. Now I'm taking my fingers, kind of squeegeeing the excess water out of it as I'm stretching it. All right, I want to keep my laces running flat. So here's some, I'm just going a slot. Make sure that the lace is not twisting. good, I hope. There are holes here now. Like I said, they'll be about a 1/4 inch apart and about 1/8 of an inch in from the edge. At least my legs match now. Don't you reckon? Don't you reckon? I think you do. Lace it together. A little bit of this can make life go a lot better. Yep, going to be fine. Get this down here. You got unrestricted freedom of movement in it. Yep. This all started last fall with the fleshing of the hides. Then I did the video on fleshing, and then the actual brain tanning part of it. Now I've got a couple of finished products. I've got my Eastern woodland leggings and my hunting frock. Both of those done. I've got a couple of 3 other projects to do out of them. I had 16 hides, and it took the goodly parts of several of them, 6 or 7 of them. Of course, you got all kinds of scrap left over, you know, good sized pieces, but nevertheless, it takes a lot of hides to make something like this, for Pete's sake. Anyway, I'm looking forward to squirrel season. And right now, this is a cool August the 3rd day. Cool compared to what it had been. My God, it's been hot and rainy. Dog days have been miserable. Hot and humid. Right now, the air is cool. It's cool. But it it feels good. The frock feels good today. If it gets up to 90 degrees, it might be a little warmish, but right now it really feels good. So I'm looking forward to doing a little squirrel hunting. Two of the things that I hadn't previously shown that I made from that pile of buckskins was the case for my flintlocks. It's of course just a soft case that just pretty much just more or less just protects the finish. When you take it to and from the field, or when you jump in your truck and you're gonna run up here a few miles to hunt or whatever. Anyway, it's just something to protect the gun a little bit. And of course it takes more hides than what you might think. But I like it. It adds a little bit of something to it. And let's get around to another project that I really like, and it's going to be quite versatile. I will wear it a lot, and that is my vest. Now this thing is made out of scrap, and I do mean scrap. It is pieced, it is scrapped together like crazy. It is just pure scrap and nothing else. I actually the pile of scrap that I had left over from making all the other projects, you know, the leggings and the frock, the case, and all that. They were just a pretty good little pile of scrap there, and I'm going to see if I can piece together enough of that to make a vest. And I finally got it together. I finally got it together. And I will use this thing, not just for the, you know, the reenactment and all that, but I'll use it for just a vest in the summer. Just it's cool. It's of course it's out of brain tan buckskin, so on a day like this and just wearing it, just the vest and all, it's cool. It's really cool. And I'll use it fishing and everything else. And I'll move my farmer's tent from here up to here. I think that's what I'll do. But anyhow, I'll use this just with blue jeans, going down to Bass Pro, you know, look around to go fishing or just wearing it around. But one of the main things I want to for if you in the summer you're wearing light clothes and you're concealed carrying It's hard to find something that's cool enough and light enough, but you can conceal carry. Well, this will work just fine. It's soft, it's flexible, it's cool. You don't mind wearing it at all, and it's plenty long enough that you can conceal carry. I usually carry cross draw, and it's soft enough, flexible enough, yet it's got all these different colors and patterns and everything in it. It won't imprint the gun very much at all. So I really wanted a concealed carry type of warm weather vest. And of course you can wear it when it gets cooler and you put a little bit of clothing on underneath it, and then it makes a bit of a windbreaker, so be quite versatile. So 2 more projects were added to that pile of buckskins that I made. I've still got 4 really nice, super soft pieces of buckskin. Are made out of does. Now we'll use those to make that good looking long of mine a really nice vest. So anyway, so the project from Bucks in the field to buckskins on your back and on your legs or on your feet or anywhere else, from bucks to buckskins. This year's project is pretty much finished, and I'm thoroughly pleased with it. Anyway, we'll talk soon. What do you think, Dixie girl? What do you think, girl? She's a wild child sometimes. Dixie girl, come here. Let's go to the house, girl. Come on.